Hello everybody and welcome, I'm Son of Mogef. It's Wednesday and I'm playing Species, Artificial Life, Real Evolution. I'm going to continue, I was intending to continue from last week with the oxygen deprivation experiment, I guess. But I've run into a little issue, a little problem. If I show you what it is here, look. If I load the world that I had last time, if you remember, the oxygen was at 0. Now, they're all bundled up there, just like they were before. I need to go to the world options and have it at 0, which is where we had it before. And if you look at this time, do you remember when they wouldn't die? They were just surviving normally. Now, when I load the world in, you can see that everything just immediately dies. Which is not what was happening before. I don't know if it's like a simulation error or if it's a result of like loading a world that's in progress or something. But if we look, everything immediately dies. Everything is dead and dying and decaying. Down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1, and oh, and it crashed. It crashed. That didn't happen before when I was testing it. All right, so that's the thing. Let me get that back running. There we go. I'm back. So that never happened before. So yeah, everything immediately dies is the point of that. However, if I go into the world, it's back at 1. Okay, if I set it to an actual number, like, oh god, like this, which is what we had it on just before the end of the last episode. Go forwards, please. Thank you. They have a bit of an extinction, but they do survive. So I'm going to continue from this point. Like, I've tested this a little bit. And I've just gone back one step, really. It's not a huge deal. But you do end up with a survivor, which then breeds up to the creature cap. That's what happened 10 minutes ago when I was testing this. I wonder if it's going to happen again or if it's going to be different. With the RNG and the, variations and whatnot, it can be a bit different every time you play, even when you're playing the same scenarios in the same way. But as you can see, look, they've stopped dying. Or they're just dying slower. Look, a little bit of a green arrow up here, look, you can see it. And you give them time, they start breeding again, and they will eventually hit the creature cap. What 2 creatures have I got left, do you think? Oh, that's not a good way to select them, Son of Mogef. Oh, God. Oh, God. Look at all this. Holy hell. So we've got these guys and 10 of them. That's like a thing that's happening. Oh. I look the way they've completely lost the legs that were super powerful from the gravity thing that we did. This guy looks like he's made of rock. That's quite interesting, actually. Let's select one of those guys and have a look at him. Rough-skinned, terrestrial, pathetic. It's about the same as it was before, but if you look, population is increasing. Slowly but surely. They're at generation 221. Yeah, I'm not really sure about the best way to continue. I think what I'll do is just continue in the same vein that I have been. I'll let these guys evolve up until 250 or hit the creature cap, and I'll bring you guys back, and then I forget where the oxygen was. We'll put it back down to 0 and see what happens. I honestly don't know what's going on with that, like, at all. But if it goes back to 0, I'll then put it like at 0.1 and minus 0.1, and we'll see where it goes from there. So yeah, I'll let these guys evolve for a little while, and I'll bring you guys back when, you know, things happen. Okay, well, here we are. We're at generation 250. The music starts every time I try and talk, and I always forget to turn it down. I can't blame anyone for that other than me. It's all me that doing that. But yeah, the population has been doing what it was doing before, admittedly. It goes up to almost the cap, and then it falls to almost extinction, and then it goes up to nearly the cap and down to extinction, and it's just going up and down, up and down, up and down, like it was before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the oxygen back at 0. And see if that makes any difference. I am in fact going to save it. Save. Right, okay. We're at 0. Let's speed things up and see what happens. We actually, I was going to say, we did actually have a new species, but it just went extinct just as I pointed at it. The population is still going up. I don't know what happened between saves. I don't think there was an update or anything that changed the game mechanics in any notable way. I don't think there was any change at all. Makes me wonder if there's a difference between a simulation that's been running for a while and a simulation that's just been loaded, if like there's some thing that happens to make it different. But it's they're at 0 oxygen, and then why is it that every time I say something in this game it does the opposite thing, so I look like an idiot? I was just about to say they're not dying, they are in fact breeding, and then it changed and started killing everything off. For crying out loud. So this is the only go. Why do I do that as well? I do that every time. Look at this, look. This clay diagram, Jesus. Also not what I meant to do. I'm in a mood today and it's affecting me. I've been trying to record, by the way, for like 4, maybe 5 hours. And it's not a technical issue or a technical problem. It's just that whenever I start recording, people start making noise. Like a fleet of people showed up with those petrol-driven strimmer things to cut the grass on the field down the road from me. And it was so loud, it sounded like it was outside my front door. And then when those guys stopped, one of my neighbours went outside with like a workhorse and started sawing wood with a power saw, and he was drilling and hammering, and then some guy joined in by taking one of those water compressor things out to spray wash his car, and it was never quiet. It wasn't like it was like they were deliberately taking turns, so there was always noise, and it's put me in a weird mood. But yeah, this is the guy we've got. He's got teeny tiny little arms. I mean, they're growing out of his neck, which is weird enough, but we've also actually, while I was having a rant about noise, we've gained a few more species. Jesus, has he got like a little goatee? He's got like a little devil beard. He's got a goatee. Oh, my God. It looks like an alien. I mean, it is literally alien, but Christ almighty. Alright, that one's decided the best place for its gigantic eyeballs is its armpits. How about your face? I mean, that's still monstrous and bizarre and hideous, but at least your eyeballs are on your face. They're on your lower jaw, which is not where eyeballs go, but I mean, you're closer than... Wait, where did he go? That guy? He now has them under his chin. I don't know if that's better or worse, but none of them have legs anymore. They've lost their gigantic legs. Let's have a look. We are in fact at 0 oxygen, and they are in fact not dead. I think everything on the planet as well is like herbivores. Got a herbivore and a herbivore. We've got... Ooh, that guy's warty. Ooh. He's also a herbivore. He's a herbivore and he's a herbivore. What was that? Proto-feathered? This guy has proto-feathers. It's the first time I've seen that. It's like a unique trait or something. Broken-skinned. He's also a herbivore. He's a herbivore and he's a herbivore. We have a herbivore and a herbivore and a herbivore with a herbivore and a herbivore. And we're back to the warty guy. What happened to the one that I was looking at, game? Where's the proto-feathered guy? Oh, they've all become warty while I wasn't looking. Oh, the guy with the proto-feathers is now warty. Such a bad word. I don't even like saying it. One of those words that make you internally go, yeah. And I made a face when I made that noise as well. That was a thing that happened. Oh God. Oh. The thing about putting such huge selection pressures on it, it's just that the evolutionary tree that we have here, the Clade diagram, it goes mental every now and again. You can look. It settles down for a little while. There's an outbreak. Look at that outbreak. And then there's a settling period. And then there's an look. There's the settling down period. There's the outbreak. Due to selection pressure, I would assume. There's another one after that calming period. And then you get this here. And then there's another outbreak. And then it's interesting that it's going in stages. Is what I'm trying to articulate, and doing so very badly. Okay, so we haven't hit the creature cap, and we haven't received a mass extinction. So things are progressing as they were. I'm going to let this get up to 2. We're at 2 now, 275. And yeah, I'll bring you guys back again to see if we can introduce negative 0.1 oxygen and see if it has any effect whatsoever. I mean, it's going to have an effect, it just might not be noticeable, but let's find out. See you in a moment. Alright, so we are once again back. The Renegade Master, that turned into a thing that nobody's going to recognise a reference to, but never mind. Anyway, we're up to 275 on the generation. The population's been crashing and skyrocketing as it always has been. Let's have a look to see what creatures we've got. I keep trying to zoom in the clay diagram with the mouse wheel and it zooms the world instead. Here comes the music again. As soon as I start talking. Have a look. We got this guy, and we've got this guy, and we've got, oh, hello. The arms. Every time the autosave comes up as well, I think it's the game crashing. Like this version of it, which is like an experimental build, is so much more stable than the regular build, but it's not ready yet, so you kind of have to select it from the beta branch in the Steam settings, but it's way more stable than the other one, even considering that I did manage to crash it earlier. But this is hopefully it, where we go into the negative oxygen. I'm trying to line the top of the screen up with the top of the map, and I'm failing hardcore. Let's save the world. And let's go negative. Oh, it actually won't let me. Oh, yes, it will. It just won't let me use the number pads. That's somewhat odd. All right. Oh no, that's in fact completely wrong. It was in fact backwards. Because I type good. I type good about as well as I words good. That was a sentence. So we're now at minus 10% oxygen. Doesn't even make sense when you try and fathom it out in your head. Like 10% of normal oxygen isn't negative. Oh, never mind. It's a slight vacuum, I guess. I'm just pulling a slight vacuum on the entire planet. So, my suspicion is that things will die in vast numbers and very, very quickly. Although I've been proven wrong several times before. Though, there was a little bit of surviving going on then before it auto-saved and scared the goddamn living hell out of me. There was a little bit I saw up here. This is so exciting. This little coloured arrow can be the difference between crushing defeat and like triumphant success. They're actually breathing in negative oxygen. I nearly said negative gravity. I don't know, I can't remember now if that's a thing that I did when... No, because I was putting the gravity up, wasn't I? I guess I could slowly decrease the gravity and see what happens. What's negative 10,000 gravity like? Who knows? Not me, that's for sure. Yeah, they're living. They're living, and they're actually doing really well now. They're doing better in minus oxygen than they are in regular oxygen. How does that work? I'm kind of interested. Oh, what is this going on the back of this guy's head? He's got a horn. Is that an eyeball with a horn growing out of it? Like right here, this lump looks like an eyeball, but it's got a horn growing out of it? Oh, that guy had a head so massive it didn't even fit on the screen. Youch. Yeah, that's an eyeball. This one just exchanges his arms for little curly horns, or that one actually developed proper arms as well. He's probably using them as legs, knowing the creatures in this game. They don't know how to live because I keep taking away their ability to live. Oh my god, they're adapting. Can you see this surge of evolution going on? What's it called when they do that? Is it punctuated equilibrium? When normally, like, evolution is an incredibly slow process. Minute changes in the gene pool just affect the population over a vast amount of time. But every now and again, when the selection pressure is high, there's like little skips. I mean, people would describe them as massive jumps in evolution. That's not really what's happening. They're just not as small skips. But I think it's called punctuated equilibrium. Oh, look at this. There's like two eyeballs on top of each other, but there's something else in there as well, and I'm too scared to investigate. There's also a horn in the back of its head. This is so terrifying. How I've not had nightmares about this game is beyond me. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna have a nightmare that I'm one of these creatures and I'm doing what I tend to do to these creatures, but to me. It would be a bit of a meta nightmare, but I've had stranger ones. Believe me, I've had some strange dreams. What am I doing? Let's... So the negative oxygen is a thing that is happening. I mean, they weren't surviving when I loaded this world in regular oxygen. Let's go back a couple of steps, but I think that was just a problem with the simulation. Not... it's hard to describe, but I think it's not against the rules to go back a little bit to recover the flow, so to speak. So what am I going to do now? I've been waffling here for like nearly 10 generations worth of gameplay. I guess I'll just do another cut. I'll do one of my, you know, bog standard fade outs. I'll bring you guys back when this is at 300, which is actually quite a lot of generations, and I'll go to minus 0.2 oxygen, which is minus 20%. No, it's not. It's not minus 20%. It's minus 120% technically, isn't it? Either way, sorry, my brain is in a bit of a fuss today, and I'm trying to sort out 10 different thoughts all at once. I'll go and calm my bean. I'll have a drink. I'll bring you guys back when the counter is at 300, which it nearly is already, and we'll see if we can see what's going to go on then. Right, well, it's been up to 300 generations. It's been more for other creatures. I've just selected this one. I went and had a drink. I've had my coconut water. I'm calmer. I'm going to chill. And I'm going to get through this by torturing small animals even more. So, let's have another world save. Where is it? There it is. There we go. Boom. And let's remove even more oxygen. It's so confusing to think about this as well, because we're technically removing more oxygen from the world than the world has available. It's like a giant vacuum pump into space. It's actually crazy, but it seems to be doing a world of good for the population. Well, I've just realised as well, where I was having my drink and chilling, there's 29 now. How did that happen? Oh my god, negative oxygen. I tell you, it's good for the planet. We should do it. I'm not going to stop right there. I'm not going to pretend that negative oxygen would work on Earth and for humans or whatever it is that these are. Oh god. Oh no. Oh, it's just so bad. Every time I play this, I end up with just horror. And then I zoomed it the wrong way. These are. What would you even call half of these? I mean, like, that's interesting. It's developed a beak. It's got eyes on its head, which I appreciate. The horns are pretty interesting. I mean, if it head butted you sideways, like it just, you know, nudged, it would hurt. Oh god, they're just hideous beasts. I kind of want them all dead. What was that one? Its eyes are almost the same size as its head. It's still got a horn on the back of its head. It's like related to that other one. That one looked like a frog, and now I've lost it. I don't know where that one's gone. I'll never find it again in this sea of genetic freaks. Just regular freaks. We've actually got quite a lot of like major species developing here. I said it before that the negative oxygen is actually good somehow. It's got to. At some point, this is just going to crash to zero. I've created this super. It's not even like one super creature. It's a whole planet of them now. Like there's 26 different species currently, and it doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon, does it? Like the population is decreasing, but when it increases again, it just undoes all the death. Here it goes, look. Little green arrow pops up, and this will just climb back up. We're actually not. Every time I should stop using words entirely. One of these days, I'm going to upload a video which is just gameplay, and I'll be completely silent, because every time I say things about a game or in a game or about the mechanics of the game, that game does the exact opposite of what I'm saying it's going to do, and it welcome to my life, ladies and gentlemen. Like, oh dear, oh dear. This is. They need to die. Really, what they need to do is they need to all die. This is like so in danger of hitting the creature cap. I know technically we're only like halfway there with the creature cap being at 2,000, but it goes up a little bit more each time, so it like creeps closer to the cap. It does go down, but it goes down less each time. I think it's just where these guys are adapting to an environment that's just so unable to support life. Like this world is losing more oxygen than it ever had. I have trouble verbalizing a lot of things, but negative oxygen is such a confusing concept. I feel like it should be simple, but then you start to think about the implications of it. Like, if Earth had negative oxygen, be losing more oxygen than it had in it, which means it was producing oxygen that was leaving and never coming. But I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I do that. I go off on these weird tangents. I have a bit of a rant sometimes, and I have a weird kerfuffly brain episode, and you guys get to witness it, and I'm sure it's, I don't know, at least mildly entertaining to watch me have a mental breakdown. Oh dear, let's just have a quick flick through. That actually kind of made me jump. The big eyes that rocket towards the screen. You are not an animal. You have no head, you have no arms, and you have no legs. You're just a slug. We're back to the potato creatures, only... Oh, it does actually have a head. I think it maybe was just bent over backwards. This thing looks so angry. Doesn't he look angry? He's like, give me some oxygen. I want it. I want it back. You're taking the oxygen that I have when it should be the other way around. Okay, another one with horns in its eyeballs. Just, what the freaking hell? There's only one of these, so it's going to go extinct any second now, but also, I mean, it's like a weird frog creature. It's also the only one that has actual legs, I've just noticed. You're literally unique on this planet now. You're the only... It's dead. It does that when it dies. I wasn't even paying attention to the actual information. I was just marveling at the horror. Kind of just embracing it at this point. Fine, you'll do. I'll do one more, I guess, cut. When these guys get up to 325, I'll reduce the oxygen even further than, you know, negative numbers, and I'll bring you guys back, and we'll be horrified by what happens in the meantime. So yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Alrighty, let's come back to this experiment we've got going on. It's kind of crazy. We've got 22 species and nearly 1,000 population. I've got my fingers on the wrong keys, but also I made a discovery just a moment ago. Music's kicking in because I'm talking, why wouldn't it? Yeah, this whole time that I've been recording, I've had my headphones on back to front. I've had the right ear on the left speaker, so to speak. I've had them on backwards this whole time, and I've only just now realised. So, you know, have fun with that information. Let's save the world again. Like so. Let's get rid of even more oxygen. And I'm just going to continue. It's not having a detrimental effect on the population is what I find interesting. It actually seems to be benefiting them. He says there's a mass extinction event. Yeah, they have spread out across the world as well, which I find interesting. When we were at very low oxygen, they all bundled up into one area, and now they've spread out. But there's 22 species now. There's only like a half dozen at most before. So I guess they kind of have to spread out for the food, don't they? Oh dear. Look at this, look. Extinct. Things are going pretty badly. Although there is a little bit of breeding going on. They're doing it. They're surviving in negative oxygen. Why do I constantly expect these changes that I make to the world to be catastrophic? I don't honestly know. Because they always survive. Well, nearly always. They haven't in previous episodes, but they are currently surviving really, really well. The species is... like, the species count is severely dropping off, but you kind of have to expect that. One's not well adapted to this environment, which is the harshest of harsh environments, will die off. Yeah, we're back up to over 1,000 individuals in this world. I'm going to let it run for a little while I have another explore of what we've got alive, and I guess I'll call it an episode after that. I've been recording over an hour, well, about an hour and a half, just to shave over. Let's have a look to see what we've got. It's kind of difficult to fit them all in like one window. I am trying, I'm just failing. Let's have a look. Oh, look at this guy. Zoom in on him. He's got horns and eyes aplenty. He's got arms and no legs, and I don't understand how that's become beneficial. This. They insist on growing eyes in weird places. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting to see that. I really wasn't. Holy freaking hell. Oh my god, this one's got a massive head. Look at it. Gigantic compared to this one. There we go. The skin on... Oh! That's an interesting development. It's now, I guess, wandering around on its tail? Where was that guy? Look at that one. Oh, it's dead. I couldn't reselect it because it died. There is no more of them. There's 20 or so of these. It is falling, I note, as I hover my cursor over it. Oh, that one came to say hello on my screen. Did you see that? I kind of want to see how these guys move around. Slowly, I should imagine. Oh my god. Yeah, every now and again you see the bubble saying, "Oh, I want oxygen." Look, oxygen, please. No, there is none. In fact, there's less than none. There's less than no oxygen. You live in a vacuum. The bloody trees are in the way. They're actually getting quite big as well now. There was a period of time where they shrank down to almost microscopic sizes. They're getting bigger. The negative oxygen is so beneficial. I just don't even know what to say about it anymore. Oh god, I accidentally zoomed into the floor. Have a look at this guy. He's cold-blooded, scaled, a herbivore, shock and horror. Terrestrial, that word that I'm not good at saying apparently. A picky eater. Can you afford to be a picky eater? Aggressive. Mostly harmless. Yeah, that's a shock, isn't it? Let me speed things back up. Decent, reasonable walk stamina. The one that I had selected died. Oh, that one's dead as well now. Yeah, they're doing a good job of not dying. Not only are they not dying, they're actually breeding. Look, it's kind of crazy. All of them in this area, look. Okay, well, I'm going to have to leave it there. My brain can only handle so much craziness in a day, apparently. I'm going to save it here. Okay, yeah, that's an episode of Species. I forgot what I was playing. I nearly said Colony Survival. I feel like that's a mistake I may have made a couple of minutes ago and not picked up on until now, but yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. I'll continue the negative oxygen paradoxical experiment that's going on. I'm not sure. I guess if I get up to -1 oxygen level, which is technically minus 200% oxygen, I'll save whatever's still alive at the time, and we'll come back to them when there's more things to play around with. I do want to revisit my attempt to turn humans into fish, which sounds weird when you say it out loud, because I tried it before and it didn't go well, but now that I can play with the oxygen, that is definitely something I want to try. However, since this is still going, I'll do this again next week, so you can come back for that. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Yeah, so I tend to take Thursdays off. I do occasionally live stream on Thursdays. I will decide on whether I'm doing that or not tomorrow. It depends on my mental health, because it's a bit crazy these days. You might have noticed from this very episode that I'm a little off balance. So, yeah, everyone stay safe, be well, be good to each other and yourselves, and I will be back either tomorrow or Friday. If it's Friday, it'll be Raft, and yeah, I'll see you then for Raft, if I don't see you sooner for a video or a live stream tomorrow. So thank you everyone for joining me. I'm Son of Mogeth. This is Species Artificial Life Relay Evolution. I will see you soon.